You're sitting at your favorite cafe, coffee in hand. Across the table, an old friend greets you warmly. You smile, but their name is gone. You search your mind, but it's blank. You laugh it off, tell yourself it's nothing. But deep down, you wonder, is it? And then it happens again. Not just names, but entire conversations fade. Appointments slip by unnoticed. Familiar streets seem unfamiliar. Simple tasks become confusing. Your confidence wavers, relationships strain, and daily life feels harder than it should. This is how Alzheimer's begins quietly, insidiously, like a shadow creeping in. Dubbed the silent thief of memory, it doesn't just take recollection. It erodes cognition, alters personality, and steals independence. Already affecting over 50 million people worldwide, its reach is growing, expected to surpass 130 million by 2050. Yet, its early warning signs are too often ignored, mistaken for normal aging. A costly mistake. The sooner it's recognized, the better the chances of slowing its progression. In this video, we'll uncover 7 early signs of Alzheimer's disease that should never be ignored, because awareness is the first step toward action. 1. Memory loss that disrupts daily life. When forgetfulness becomes a warning sign. We all have moments of forgetfulness, misplacing our keys, blanking on an appointment, or struggling to recall a name that's just on the tip of our tongue. It's a normal part of life. But when these lapses in memory shift from occasional nuisances to persistent disruptions, it could signal something far more serious. Memory loss in Alzheimer's is not a random occurrence. It is the result of a biological breakdown in the brain. Over time, beta-amyloid plaques, sticky clumps of protein, begin to accumulate between nerve cells. These plaques disrupt communication between neurons, making it increasingly difficult for the brain to store and retrieve information. Think of it as a highway where traffic signals are failing, messages struggle to get through, leading to confusion and disorientation. The hippocampus, the region of the brain responsible for forming new memories, is one of the first areas affected. This is why short-term memory is often the first to deteriorate, while older memories may remain intact for a longer period. It's easy to dismiss memory lapses as normal aging, but when forgetfulness becomes persistent and affects daily life, it's time to pay attention. Here are some key red flags. Repeatedly asking the same questions. If a person keeps asking about the same event or detail despite receiving answers multiple times, this could indicate more than just distraction. Forgetting important dates, events, or recent conversations, birthdays, anniversaries, scheduled appointments, or even significant life events can slip away as if they never happened. Increased dependence on memory aids. If someone starts relying excessively on sticky notes, phone reminders, or family members to keep track of basic information, it may be a sign that their natural memory function is weakening. Getting lost in familiar places, forgetting how to navigate well-known routes, like the way home from the grocery store or a friend's house, is a major warning sign of Alzheimer's-related cognitive decline. 2. Difficulty planning or problem-solving. When logical thinking begins to fail. It's normal to occasionally miscalculate a tip or forget a step in a recipe. However, when problem-solving abilities begin to deteriorate beyond occasional lapses, it may indicate something more concerning. Alzheimer's disease gradually erodes cognitive processes, making once routine tasks feel overwhelming and nearly impossible to complete. At the core of this issue is damage to the prefrontal cortex, the brain's command center for logical reasoning, planning, and executive functioning. This region plays a crucial role in organizing thoughts, making decisions, and executing tasks that require multiple steps. As Alzheimer's progresses, the ability to process sequential information and solve problems declines, causing individuals to struggle with tasks that once felt effortless. Simple actions, like following a recipe, managing monthly bills, or organizing a daily schedule, can become sources of frustration and confusion. Key warning signs to watch for. Difficulty following step-by-step instructions. Tasks that require a series of actions, such as assembling furniture, cooking a familiar dish, or following directions, become increasingly difficult to complete. Struggles with financial management. Paying bills on time, tracking expenses, or balancing a bank account becomes challenging, leading to frequent mistakes or financial disorganization. Increased difficulty with numbers and calculations. Even simple arithmetic, such as calculating change or measuring ingredients, becomes problematic as cognitive function declines. These impairments don't just affect convenience, they impact independence. As problem-solving abilities decline, individuals with Alzheimer's may struggle to manage essential aspects of daily life, increasing their reliance on caregivers and family members. 3. Mood and personality changes when the mind becomes a stranger. Alzheimer's disease is often associated with memory loss, but its impact extends far beyond forgetting names and events. It disrupts the very essence of a person's emotions, temperament, and social interactions, leading to profound changes in mood and personality. What was once a calm and composed individual may become unpredictable, irritable, or even paranoid. The root cause lies in the amygdala and limbic system, the brain regions responsible for processing emotions, regulating mood, and forming social connections. As Alzheimer's progresses, these areas undergo degeneration, disrupting the ability to interpret emotions appropriately and respond to social cues. This results in sudden mood swings, unexplained agitation, and heightened anxiety, often leaving loved ones confused and distressed. What's particularly alarming is that these emotional fluctuations are not merely reactions to frustration or forgetfulness. They are driven by fundamental changes in brain chemistry. Individuals may develop increased suspicion, irrational fears, or even paranoia, believing that those around them are deceiving or harming them. Key warning signs to watch for: uncharacteristic aggression or irritability, sudden outbursts over minor inconveniences, excessive frustration, or emotional volatility that is out of character. Heightened suspicion or paranoia, mistrust toward family members or caregivers, accusations of theft or deception, and persistent feelings of being watched or targeted. Withdrawal from social activities, avoidance of social interactions, disinterest in once enjoyed hobbies, and reluctance to engage in conversations or gatherings. These shifts in mood and behavior can be just as unsettling as memory loss, not only for those experiencing them, but also for their loved ones. In many cases, they appear before significant memory decline, making them one of the earliest warning signs of Alzheimer's. 4. Difficulty understanding visual images and spatial relationships, when the world becomes harder to navigate. Alzheimer's disease doesn't just impair memory and cognition, it also affects how the brain processes visual information. This goes far beyond the natural decline in eyesight that comes with aging. It's not about needing stronger glasses, it's about the brain struggling to interpret what the eyes are seeing. The occipital lobe, the part of the brain responsible for processing visual input, is significantly impacted in Alzheimer's. As the disease progresses, the brain loses its ability to recognize faces, interpret distances, distinguish colors, and process spatial relationships. This can make everyday activities that were once second nature, like reading, driving, or even walking through a familiar space, unexpectedly difficult and dangerous. Many individuals with Alzheimer's begin to misjudge distances, leading to increased falls, trouble pouring liquids into a glass, or difficulty maneuvering through doorways. Key warning signs to watch for: difficulty distinguishing colors or contrast, struggles with recognizing objects that blend into their surroundings, or confusion when reading signs with similar color tones. Misjudging distances, trouble parking a car properly, pouring liquids into a cup, or reaching for objects that appear closer or farther than they really are. Getting lost in once familiar places, difficulty navigating through well-known locations, such as their own home or neighborhood, even when no other memory issues are immediately apparent. This visual spatial impairment increases the risk of accidents and injuries, making tasks like driving, walking upstairs, or even setting a dinner table more hazardous. When these symptoms emerge, it's critical to recognize them as potential early indicators of Alzheimer's, rather than dismissing them as simple vision problems. 5. Problems with speaking or writing, when words begin to slip away. Language is one of the most powerful tools we have to communicate, express emotions, and engage with the world around us. But when Alzheimer's takes hold, this fundamental ability begins to break down. It doesn't happen overnight. It starts subtly, with small gaps in vocabulary, then progresses to difficulty forming sentences, and eventually, an inability to communicate effectively. Alzheimer's disrupts two critical language centers in the brain. Broca's area, responsible for speech production and sentence structuring. Wernicke's area, essential for understanding and interpreting spoken words. As these regions deteriorate, individuals experience growing difficulty in retrieving words, forming coherent sentences, and maintaining conversations. Over time, they may substitute specific words with vague descriptions, pause frequently as they struggle to find the right term, or even lose the ability to understand spoken or written language altogether. Key warning signs to watch for: difficulty finding the right words, struggling to recall common terms, replacing them with generic phrases, e.g., saying "that thing for drinking" instead of "cup." Frequent pauses and hesitation while speaking. Conversations become interrupted as the person searches for words, leading to frustration and disengagement. Using vague or incorrect terms instead of precise words. Describing objects or actions in an imprecise manner, making communication more difficult for both the speaker and listener. Language loss in Alzheimer's isn't just about forgetting words, it's losing the ability to connect. As communication weakens, frustration grows, social withdrawal increases, and even simple tasks requiring verbal or written instructions become overwhelming. 6. Decreased initiative and motivation when passion fades away. Enthusiasm and curiosity are key driving forces that keep us engaged in life. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, setting personal goals, or simply finding joy in daily activities, motivation is what fuels our actions. However, one of the lesser-known but significant early signs of Alzheimer's disease is a gradual loss of initiative and interest, a condition often mistaken for depression or simple disinterest. The dopaminergic system, which regulates motivation and reward-based behaviors, is severely impacted in Alzheimer's. As the disease progresses, dopamine production declines, leading to a reduction in drive, enthusiasm, and engagement with the world. This is not just about feeling lazy or unmotivated for a short period. It's a persistent lack of interest in activities that once brought joy. Tasks that were once fulfilling or exciting may suddenly feel pointless or exhausting. Key red flags to watch for: loss of enthusiasm for previously enjoyed activities, hobbies, interests, and even social interactions become less appealing or are abandoned altogether. Sleeping more than usual, excessive sleep, prolonged inactivity, or seeming lethargic without an underlying physical reason. Needing constant reminders to complete simple tasks. Forgetting or avoiding routine responsibilities like bathing, eating, or engaging in conversations. Apathy in Alzheimer's isn't just a passing phase, it's a sign of brain deterioration. It can deeply impact quality of life, leading to social withdrawal, emotional detachment, and increased strain on caregivers. 7. Social withdrawal, when connection becomes too overwhelming. Human connection is fundamental to well-being. Engaging in conversations, maintaining friendships, and participating in social activities provide emotional fulfillment and cognitive stimulation. However, as Alzheimer's disease progresses, many individuals begin to withdraw from social interactions, not out of choice, but because engaging with others becomes increasingly exhausting and frustrating. Alzheimer's impairs cognitive processing speed, making it difficult to follow conversations, recall details, and respond appropriately in social settings. The mental effort required to process speech, remember names, and keep up with discussions becomes overwhelming. This often leads to feelings of embarrassment, anxiety, and self-consciousness, causing individuals to gradually withdraw from friends, family, and once beloved activities. This withdrawal is not simply a matter of preference, it is a response to cognitive decline. Individuals may start avoiding gatherings, phone calls, or social obligations because they fear making mistakes, forgetting key details, or struggling to keep up with the pace of conversation. Key warning signs to watch for: avoiding social gatherings and events, a noticeable reluctance to attend family gatherings, community meetings, or friendly get-togethers. Decreased phone calls or messages, a reduction in reaching out to loved ones or responding to communication. Withdrawing from close family and friends, preferring solitude over social interactions, even with those they were once close to. Social withdrawal isn't just a symptom, it accelerates cognitive decline. Isolation reduces mental stimulation, weakening memory, problem-solving skills, and emotional resilience. It also increases stress, anxiety, and depression, all of which can worsen Alzheimer's symptoms. Recognizing the signs early, a critical step toward better outcomes. While there is no cure for Alzheimer's, early detection is the key to managing its impact. Identifying the warning signs early allows for better symptom management, improved quality of life, and access to emerging treatments that may slow disease progression. Science continues to advance, with monoclonal antibody therapies showing promise, and lifestyle choices, regular exercise, a nutrient-rich diet, and mental stimulation proving to be valuable in reducing risk. If you notice any of these signs in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Seek medical guidance and take proactive steps toward brain health. Awareness and action today can shape a better tomorrow. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe to stay informed. Your support helps us spread knowledge and reach more people who need it. Let's build a community that empowers and educates, because knowledge is the first step toward change.